All right, so you know how we love to like really get into a topic.
We do.
And this one is huge.
Yeah.
It's service.
Right.
And
Yeah.
specifically how it plays out in the Christian faith.
Okay.
But don't worry. Even if you're not particularly religious,
Yeah.
stick with us because this is going to be relevant
I think so.
no matter what you believe.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, don't we all want to
Yeah.
like live a good life?
Absolutely.
And part of that has to be
Yeah.
how we treat other people.
Right.
So our source material this time is a sermon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, from this church called
Oh.
the Flame Church. Have you heard of it?
I haven't, no.
So it's, it's pretty out there.
Oh, really?
In a good way, I think.
Okay.
At least based on this sermon.
Okay.
But their whole thing is like really putting service
Yeah.
at the center of their faith.
Yeah.
Not just like
Yeah.
going through the motion,
Right. Yeah. I'm listening.
but actually like living it out.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is going to be so interesting
Okay.
to dig into.
Yeah.
So the sermon starts off with this idea of a servant king.
Okay. A servant king.
Yeah. And I know that sounds kind of contradictory, right?
Yeah, like those two things don't really go together.
Exactly.
Kings are usually the ones being served.
Right, but the pastor is talking about Jesus
I see.
and how he totally flipped that script.
And how does he do that?
Well, he talks about how in Jesus' time,
Yeah.
washing someone's feet,
Yeah.
that wasn't just like a nice gesture.
Right.
It was like the lowest of the low.
Really?
Only servants did that.
Wow.
And not just any servants,
Yeah.
like the ones nobody else wanted to talk to.
Huh.
So when Jesus washes his disciples' feet,
Yeah.
it would have been like a total mic drop moment.
That's a powerful image for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just doing it to be nice.
Okay.
He was making a statement about
What was he saying?
what true leadership looks like.
Interesting.
It's about humility and putting others first,
I get you.
which is not exactly how we usually think of leaders,
No, not really.
especially not like kings and stuff.
Exactly.
And the pastor, he even tells this funny story
Oh, I love a good story.
about a men's retreat he went on
Okay.
where they decided to try this whole foot washing thing.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Yeah, it's like they took the sermon literally,
Oh, no.
and let's just say it involved
Well, that.
some awkward moments
Yeah.
and maybe some questionable hygiene choices.
I can imagine.
But it sounds like it really made them think,
I bet.
about what it means to serve each other,
Right.
even when it's not glamorous
Yeah.
or easy.
Absolutely.
And that's what I think is so cool about this whole thing.
Okay, what's that?
It's not just about like doing nice things
Mm.
when it's convenient for you.
Yeah.
It's about being open to what he calls inconvenient pauses.
Inconvenient pauses. Okay, I like that.
So those moments when you're just going about your day
Yeah.
and you see someone who needs help. Okay.
But it might mean like
Yeah.
going out of your way.
Right.
Or changing your plans.
Totally.
And those moments,
Yeah.
he says those are the real tests.
Interesting.
That's when you really see what you're made of.
I see.
Whether you're willing to be a servant,
Yeah,
even when it's not easy
I get it.
or fun.
That's deep, deep.
And you know what? I think that's something we can all relate to,
Yeah, for sure.
even if we're not religious.
Totally.
Because we all have those moments
Right.
when we have to choose
You're right.
between what's easy and what's right.
I agree.
And that's what I'm really curious to unpack
Okay.
in this deep dive.
Yeah.
Like, what does it really mean
Yeah.
to be a servant
Okay.
in today's world?
And how do we actually do that?
Exactly. And what's the point?
Right. Because why bother
Exactly.
unless it means something?
So are you ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
It's funny because, we've been talking about this in like a religious context,
Right.
but this whole servant thing,
Yeah.
it's not just for church people, you know?
Totally.
Mhm.
It's actually a big deal in the business world, too.
That's right. Like servant leadership.
Exactly.
I feel like I hear that everywhere now.
For sure. It's like a buzzword.
Total buzzword.
Mm.
But is it actually a thing?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, at its core, it's about leading with empathy,
Okay.
putting your team first,
Right.
helping them grow,
Instead of just like,
which is barking orders.
exactly, like being a dictator.
Yeah, more like a coach.
Yeah, like a mentor.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
It's about empowering people.
Which honestly sounds kind of radical.
It does, right? Especially with
not
busy
just that like
prophets.
climbing the ladder,
Yeah, and stepping on whoever you have to get to the top.
but maybe that's the problem.
Maybe so.
Maybe this whole servant thing,
Yeah.
it's not just some nice idea.
Right.
Maybe it's actually like a better way to lead
I think it could be.
and not just lead like in a company.
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right? Like what if we all
Yeah.
tried to be a little more servant-hearted?
I love that. What would that look like?
Well, the pastor said it's not about like grand gestures or anything.
Oh, okay.
It's the little things,
The little things.
like those inconvenient pauses we talked about.
Right.
He actually shared this quote from Mother Teresa.
Okay.
She said,
What'd she say?
"Not all of us can do great things,
Yeah.
but we can do small things with great love."
Oh, that's good.
Right.
It's so simple, but so true.
And it really stuck with me
Me too.
because it's easy to get caught up in like,
I know what you mean. Like, I'm just one person.
exactly, like how much of a difference can I really make?
Right.
But then you hear stories about people who
Mm.
like, they just do what they can
Right.
and it makes a difference.
It does.
And maybe that's all we're called to do.
Maybe so.
So I guess the question is,
Okay, let's hear it.
where are those inconvenient pauses in our own lives?
Yeah, where are they?
And are we willing to actually pause
Right.
and see what happens?
That's the challenge.
It is.
Because it's easy to just keep going.
Oh, yeah. We're all so busy.
Right.
Okay.
But maybe that's the problem.
Maybe so. It really makes you think.
It does. Yeah.
Like in a world, that's all about
What's in it for me?
exactly me first.
Right. Success, power, all that.
And then we have this sermon saying,
Like pump the brakes.
totally. It's like a completely different way of looking at things.
It is like a total paradigm shift
Okay, I like that paradigm shift.
from what's in it for me.
To how can I help?
Exactly. And that's what's so countercultural about this whole servant king idea.
Yeah, because it's not just about being nice.
Oh, it's deeper than that.
It's about like a fundamental shift in how you see yourself.
Exactly. And your place in the world.
Okay, so how does that actually play out?
Well, the pastor said, it starts with recognizing that real influence,
Okay.
it doesn't come from power over others,
Okay.
but from empowering others.
Okay, so it's like giving up control.
In a way, yeah. But it's also about recognizing the potential in others
I see.
and using your influence to help them grow.
Okay, so like instead of being the boss,
Right.
you're like the coach.
Exactly. Or the mentor.
Yeah, someone who's there to support and guide.
Exactly. And that's something that applies to so many areas of life.
Right, not just business.
No. Like think about families,
Okay,
communities,
friendships.
even just like random interactions with strangers.
Yeah, like what if we all tried to approach those situations?
With that same servant-hearted attitude.
It's like that quote we talked about,
Which one?
the Mother Teresa one.
Oh, yeah. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love.
Right? Like maybe that's the key.
Maybe it is.
Just focusing on those small acts of kindness.
And doing them with intention.
Because they all add up,
They do, even if we never see the full impact.
which is kind of a beautiful thought.
It is. It's like planting seeds.
You might not see them grow.
But you know they're making a difference.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
I'm curious, what are you taking away from all this?
Well, I think for me, the biggest thing is just this idea of
Yeah.
shifting your perspective.
From what's in it for me to how can I be of service?
Exactly. Because when you approach life that way,
Yeah,
it changes everything.
it does. And you know what else it does?
What's that?
It takes the pressure off
How so?
because you're not constantly trying to
Prove yourself.
exactly or climb the ladder or whatever.
Right. You're free to just focus on...
Helping others.
Exactly. And that's where you find true fulfillment.
I love that. Well said.
Thank you.
And on that note, I think it's time to
Wrap it up.
wrap it up. So to everyone listening,
Yeah,
we hope this deep dive has given you some food for thought
definitely.
and maybe even inspired you
To go out there
and be a little more servant-hearted.
in your own unique way.
Exactly. Because the world needs more of that.
It does, for sure.
All right. Until next time,
Peace out.
keep diving.